So we're going to take the input shaft off, put the output shaft seal off. Just needs to separate it all the way around. Chisel and a hammer will go far. Bada bing, bada boom. Out with the old, crusty, destroyed piece, in with the new. So we'll throw some assembly lube on here and just slide it in real quick. But otherwise, nice and sealed again. Perfect. Let's get all this off real quick. Yeah, could be better for sure, but it looks like, I mean, definitely fresh, you know what I mean? Basically just been chiseling in the insides to make it try and pop out. Nice. Alright, no damage on the inside, looking good overall. Now we can get our new seal. Same. Grease this up a little bit. There we go, this ought to do, 27. That's nice and in place, and we're looking good. Cool. So now we can throw this back on. So some of the grease that I used on Brutus, the Royal Purple Ultra Performance Grease, is good for pretty much, I don't know, anything and everything. So I've been using this for ever, which is why the barrel is pretty close to drained here. And I decided to go with a 180 degree thermostat. I haven't had a thermostat in that car in forever, mainly because we live in Arizona, but I'll put one in this just to see. If it works out well, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But put it in there, keep it. This is basically how it's going to look. So I'll put the top back on here, throw it on there, and tighten it down fully. And just like that, we got it pulled out. So easy peasy. Get rid of that. Now we can move this over and drill it out with all our stuff. Time has finally come to put this motor in here, finally. First I'm doing it with wire tuck, so we'll kind of just move all that out of the way. But otherwise, we'll kind of get this lifted up, see if we have enough space to put it down and keep it moving. The time is now. We need to do some quick changes on here. I had to put the car on the ground because it's faced this way. The top of the garage is causing a problem to where the top of this is hitting way before then. So now it's on the ground. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to take the car out, pull it out, rotate it around so it's facing inward this way, which is how I did everything for that car. But yeah, the e-brakes don't work too well right now and they still need to be adjusted, but I still need to turn this around. So might have to get to it. Alright, we got everything turned around. Now it's time to get it all the way over. everything in place for what it needs to be. Lift it off the ground again, so that way this can slide underneath, and then we should be good to hopefully lift this up a little bit. I think this is as high as it's going to go. Lift it up, kind of slide it and guide it back in, just so it gets past this one little point. Once it's past that, mainly with our oil pan, when we're past all that, then we should be able to drop it down and then put it all in. So let's knock it out. And we finally got it all the way in. Downside, that motor mount itself is a little messed up on the part that mounts to the chassis, but otherwise everything else is good. So we're looking good from that standpoint. This side is on. We just have one more engine bolt to put in, but do that another day. So at least for now though, the motor is actually in the car, which is the biggest hurdle. So that way it can look similar to the other one, and then we can get cracking on the electrical stuff and some of the 20% items. So we're looking good. All right, cool. So like we went through before, we have the motor in, everything's looking good there. I have my stock, not coil and plug, but the normal coils that are here for everything. So I'm just gonna try and reutilize those, but now it's time for the wiring. So let's get to the ECU. So I went with the Link this time just because, yeah, I had it in the other car, I had no issues with it. So I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? Everything's been going really, really well with the other cars. So I figured might as well get this in here. I had a Mega Squirt plug and play and a Mega Squirt do it yourself. Had no issues with those either, but I feel like there's just more flexibility. It's easier to understand with the Link ECU, especially because I did everything on the other car myself. So Mega Squirt, I had some help. So now that I understand how to do it all, should be pretty straightforward again for the round of 2. So we'll get this out of the case. We'll get all the additional Link connections set up. These are all the expansion cables and whatnot here, because we're basically going to copy what we did on the other car. And then we have our CAN connection as well for the CAN bus, the CAN Lambda, which is basically our AFRs. So we'll get everything kind of ran through where it kind of needs to be. Then we'll hook up the ECU and go from there. So let's get the wires poked through and get going. All right, going through the wiring process again to get this car set up with the Link. So pretty much ran from the expansion loom through the firewall, which is now the side. Coming out this way, bring it up. You have just the green wire. This is what I used for the fuel pump on the other side. The other car works wonderful. So doing the same thing here. Gray wire, green with just the red dots, not the red line. As you can see, red line, red dots. So do that, and then it should work perfectly fine for your fuel pump. Just getting these two together. And then for your intake air temps, you will need to use this red wire here for your power and your, whatchamacallit, what's the word I'm looking for here? Your power, your actual connection point for the actual intake air temp. So it'll be this red wire with this green line on it. Red and green, remember that. That'll be the power side, then you can just ground it to the other side wherever you want. ECU somewhere else, and then should be set. So cut that real quick and then we should be good. And for now, since I don't have my intake air temp, I'm just gonna get a wire so I can run it inside, across, and then have it set up over there with the intake. But yeah, use that for that. And then I'll get these two together for now. All right, so we got everything soldered up. So now we have our, everything's wrapped up really, really tight. So there should be no way of this coming apart anyway. But heat shrinked everything, so we're good to go there. Protect from any water, all that good stuff. But yeah, so fuel pump, gray wire, intake air temp, red wire. This is all good. We'll box these up. We'll basically cover these ends and then just rewrap this all up so it's good to go. Then we can run this wire all the way over to the other side now. We just need to tuck it through the center here, and then we should be able to run it over. And that will be good to go for the intake air temp. We still need to get a throttle position sensor. Again, just like we did for the other one. Oh my gosh, that red wire. Just like we did for the other one, but eventually we'll get there and then we'll just throw that on and keep it pushing, but we're not there yet, so matter of time. All right, and just a quick test, threw in a short throw shifter that I had before. So we'll have a common theme here of having tall shifters that are short throw in general, so just makes it a little bit easier to grip and grab a hold of something. But yeah, man, slowly coming together for the interior. We got the flock, got the dash part. I got to get some ABS plastic. Well, I have some, I just need to cut it out, put the things in. We'll be set, man. Looking good. All right, replacement mount is in. No concerns there, easy peasy. These are definitely just OEM durometers, so it's not as stiff compared to others, like the ones that I have on that car, which are the AWR, I think. But those are way stiffer. So this one, I mean, I can move the motor. You're seeing me shake the phone and the motor at the same time, but you can definitely move it. So not the end of the world. Not keeping this again forever. So if somebody else would like to update them one day, have at it. But at least you have a new one on this side. So now we can put in our headers that we wrapped recently. So we can throw those on, and then that should be set to have the exhaust kind of placed where it needs to be. It's the starting point, and then we'll see what happens in the future. So we got our header, everything there, and we have our link connection for the AFR gauge and every CAN lambda and everything. So let's get this thrown in there real quick, shall we? And I figured I might as well get rid of this since it's not needed really at the end of the day. Just wiggling it back and forth until it rips off. So should be golden from that standpoint. And then we have our bypass here, which essentially will go, put this piece down as I drop and fumble everything. Essentially will go right here, just as so, bypassing that piece entirely, and then hopefully going a little bit below it. I'll probably grind that back a little bit just to raise it up and get it off of there. But yeah, then we can go straight to our radiator and it should be set. So. All right, and then took the neutral safety switch out. Neutral safety switch out. Essentially just got these wires extended so that way we can actually get these connected a little bit easier in the future, but didn't ran out of red. So power ground, normal colors. So we'll throw that in there, and then we need to actually put these on there as well as the other side. So let's knock that out real quick on the underside of the car. All right, so just because I'm doing the wire tuck on the passenger side, you need to extend this out for the pop-up headlights. The other side's fine, but this side definitely needs to be extended or pulled more through, but I'm just extending mine because I have my extra wiring harness. So just chopped it up, put the other pieces, extended it, same colors with everything. So it's exactly the same and exactly the same thickness of wire. So now we just got to heat shrink it all and we should be set. All right, so I know it's crazy. I know it's a mess. A few different things have been going on. For the most part, the shifter and stuff is all done, good to go. I thought it was good to go before, but the old broken off bushing piece was in there, the plastic piece. So that's out of there. Replacement one in there. We're looking good now. Nice and tight. I mean, loose but tight. You know how 1.65 speeds are. So aside from that, we got the other thrash seat out because we're going to put these Garage Store ones, since we know that it doesn't work with this, we're going to put the Garage Store ones on the Sparko Sprint. That Sparko Sprint is going to live in this car. So that will be the end of that. So I don't have